Beliefs in themselves are not bad. We all have them, regardless where we are on the awareness scale. It all depends on how we view our beliefs. So long as we know they are beliefs, they can be beneficial, working as springboards to another level of awareness. The problem starts when we treat our beliefs as our truth. When we do, we get stuck in a mental bubble which prevents us from expanding our consciousness further. This entire matrix is made up of belief systems such as religions, the need of governments, the need of societal education, healthcare, that our society is built on justice, the list goes on. Then we have our personal beliefs such as this reality is all there is no life after death, and the government and the media don't lie, etc. These are all beliefs that keep us stuck in the matrix, and although we still call them beliefs, they can actually become personal and agreed upon truths. A healthy way of looking at beliefs would be to think of them as something temporary until something else shows up that contradicts them or makes us doubt them. The problem we humans have after all this manipulation is that we operate from a condition of fear. People who say they are not fearful but still abide to overall agreements are usually those who are the most fearful, because they are not even in touch with their own fear. Usually, people build their beliefs around what seems safe in an unsafe reality, so they can find some kind of peace within themselves. This often involves giving their power away to someone else, someone or something outside themselves that can keep their fear in check. For example, people might say, I trust the government to take care of our problems. That's what we elected them for. This is a perfect example of a fearful person who gives the power away to some authority. Unfortunately, most of the human population falls into this category in more than one way. Then, if someone tries to contradict their beliefs, they either laugh it off, get angry, or don't want to talk about it, and thus they change the subject. No one is free from fear, although people possess fear to a greater or lesser degree, even within the spiritual movement. Some might want to debate this, but that would give even more leverage to what we are discussing. No one on this planet is without fear, as far as I have observed. If we were, we would have access to all our perceptions, and we would be creator gods par excellence by now. Overcoming fears and beliefs is a gradual process for everybody. What many in the spiritual field call sleeping humans are humans with more fear than those who are waking up. But those of us who are waking up still possess fear and beliefs we need to confront. We often just don't know that we have them and or what they are until we run into them. As we progress, we tend to run into new levels of fear that we need to conquer. Levels of fear we didn't know we had when we were more asleep. Thus, overcoming fear and beliefs is really a work in progress. We humans, as a collective, have accumulated many beliefs and constructed many belief systems over the millennia from having bought into manipulation and reality twists. Gradually, we have accepted our beliefs as truth. This is, of course, per design, because there are many beliefs and belief systems out there. They keep us separated, divided, and in conflict with each other. Then the overlords, through their minions, can use this variety of beliefs to turn man against man, creating conflicts as they see fit. What happens when we wake up to the reality of this matrix is that we, for one reason or another, after having encountered some type of catalyst, start doubting our previous beliefs, and we begin to overcome some fear that has prevented us from seeing this earlier? One by one, our beliefs and belief systems crumble and scatter, and we start seeing things in a completely new light. In other words, we break down our old, deeply embedded beliefs. We now understand that what we used to believe is not true. Instead, we continue our journey to try to find what is true. Then we start looking into different subjects, depending on the individual. We call it our spiritual path. Some look into ufology, while others investigate mind control, governments, metaphysics, or the human mind, etc. Many of us study and discuss multiple subjects to learn more. We even tend to build groups and communities of like-minded to discuss our findings. This sounds great at the first glance, and sometimes these groups endure quite well, while others dissolve because of indifferences and conflicting beliefs within the group. And of course, groups can get infiltrated as well, and often are. However, for the purpose of this video, we'll take direct infiltration out of the picture in order to get to the point. The big risk when we start on our spiritual journey is that we exchange one belief with another, and we even create new belief systems that we get stuck in. A good example would be if someone looks into the UFO phenomenon and starts believing that all ETs are good and here to help. They discuss this with other like-minded people, and suddenly they have a new mass agreement. In another group, they are convinced that all ETs are malevolent, and that becomes their belief. The danger here is when people take these beliefs and make them their truth. After that, they will fight everybody who thinks differently, and we know how internal conflicts within the spiritual, we now have internal conflicts within the spiritual movement as well. This is no better than the beliefs and belief systems most of the humankind is subscribing to. The only difference is that people get stuck on different levels of their development. To the overlords, it doesn't matter where we are on our journey, so long as we consider our beliefs being the truth. We use the beliefs we have founded and look for evidence that solidify the already established beliefs, instead of open-mindedly consider the option that the belief we have might be partly or entirely incorrect in the first place. And obviously, all these different beliefs people have can't be true. However, what is true is that there are many conflicting beliefs within the spiritual movement, possibly as many as there are in society in general. This will not set us free. Thus, what is the solution? How do we overcome this problem? As Ariel and I see it, we must remember that what people have compiled over the years while having researched different topics, leading to certain conclusions, are beliefs, theories, and hypotheses at best. We as a collective can't be so arrogant as to think that we have figured it out. How could we? Stuck in this matrix, used to using only 5 senses to manage our lives, it would be quite arrogant to think that what we personally have concluded is the truth, or pieces of the puzzle perhaps, but not the truth. Whatever we have concluded thus far, we must be open to the possibility that, depending on what we find out next, it could shatter much of what we previously believed was true. We must be brave enough to admit it, both to ourselves and to others. Then we have the words evidence and proof. People often ask for evidence or proof when someone is presenting something, even if it's just a presented hypothesis. This is understandable because this is what's required when we are stuck in the 5 senses reality. But once we move out into the metaphysical realm, evidence and proof are foremost based on first-hand experiences, and even then it can be deceptive. What we can build by laying metaphysical puzzles and compare them with what we are experiencing in this reality is ideas, theories, and hypotheses that become springboards to new ideas, theories, and hypotheses. Also, ideas, theories, and hypotheses can change as well when new data are found. The way I see it is that we need to be open to change when we study any subject that has to do with what is outside the norm. Instead of rigidly defending our beliefs and even putting those down who think differently, we would gain from listening to each other, and without judging, we discern whether the other person has something to say that can benefit us. Discussions are healthy because so long as we keep all of the above in mind, communication opens blockages in our own thinking, and we can recognize our own outdated beliefs and start looking in new directions. We need each other as catalysts, and we can learn much faster if we take time to listen with an open mind. I think this is crucial if we want to expand fast. This was also the purpose with the experiment, to succeed as a group, and ultimately as a soul group. I must say that our own visitors on this channel, to a very large degree, are doing quite well on this matter, and it's very encouraging. Hopefully people will interact and respond to each other's comments as well, leading to constructive discussions with the above in mind. If we manage to do this, Ariel and I think that we all have made a breakthrough, because this is highly unusual, the sign of maturity of the soul. It all comes back to the previous video where we discussed the difference between creating from a high vibration versus creating from a low vibration. Feel free to comment on the context of this video. Do you feel that you are still stuck in beliefs? And what is your experience when it comes to your own development in the search for truth? Is the above information useful, and/or do you have any additional ideas about it? We are very curious to know what you think.